We're starting in 5 minutes, boys.
Okay, thanks, Juanma. Really excited for the show today. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Whoa, look at this. Jimmy the Bag, a message from Gabe Morency. I wonder what this could all be about. Let's take a look at this, Jim.
What's up, Pete? I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is I'm coming to San Jose, Costa Rica. We're going to be kicking it live. It's going to be an awesome betcast, Super Bowl 52. The bad news is if I don't do well on the tables, I might have to borrow a couple of bucks and I might have to sleep on your couch. But either way, we're going to tear it apart, man. Super Bowl 52, live from Costa Rica. See you there, Pete.
Uh-oh, Jimmy the Bag. Gabe Morency is going to be joining us for our Super Bowl podcast. This is scary and exciting at the same time. Jimmy the Bag, what do you think? Are you looking forward to this?
Very much so, man. It's not a party unless Gabe Morency's down here.
You think you can handle hanging? You think you can survive an entire Super Bowl in the same room with Gabe Morency?
Super Bowl day's the only day you're allowed to get day drunk. You're allowed to get all fucked up. It's part of the fucking celebration.
I just had a brainstorm. You know what would be a great idea is if Donnie Rightside came down here too. You think he'd be willing to come down?
Check this shit out. I'm way ahead of you, Pete.
No way.
Oh, Jimmy, I'm in. Send me down there. Costa Rica, let's do it. February 4th, Super Bowl Sunday, live betcast. We'll be there before, during, and after the game, breaking it all down. Let's win some money.
All right, well, it looks like we're going to have a full house for the Super Bowl Betcast, the official SBR Super Bowl Betcast. There's going to be Jimmy, me, and Donnie, and Gabe, all powered by BetOnline, and it's going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Super Bowl Sunday, February 4th. Jimmy the Bag, are you psyched?
Psyched, man. Let's get that cash.
Sportsbook Review's Super Bowl Betcast is brought to you by BetOnline.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. Well, someone's at the door. What? You want to come in? You need something? No, guess not. You guys know we're doing a live show here, right? Yeah? All right, cool. Excellent. People, what do they think we're doing in here? They think this is like a separate office they've never seen before? Like, what's in this room? All right. Hey, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Wednesday, January 31st, the 12 o'clock edition. This has been a couple of good shows we've done this week. You know, I watched yesterday's show again. It was a pretty funny show, you know, and I'm very glad that I've been able to provide some entertainment value in these shows this week. Because I sure as hell haven't been providing winners, Jim. Sure as hell haven't been providing winners, Jim. On the other hand, Jimmy the Bag, coming off of another awesome day, although again, all in NBA and NHL, Jimmy the Bag up about 4.5 units yesterday, which added to his Monday record was about 6.5 units. So you're up about 10 or 11 units on the week, Jim.
So far, so good. It can fall apart fast, but
Yes.
I'm fixing my January.
Jimmy the Bag turning into no fucking joke in these shows. Very impressive. Killing it in NBA, killing it in NHL, and working out the kinks in college basketball, even though the record is a little uneven. The analysis is awesome. I'm starting to get personally a great feel for when you're dead on something and when you're a little bit off. Yesterday in college, I fell victim to my own shit. I took UNC on as a small road favorite and lost with that one, and I forgot who it was that said that he liked Clemson. He was going to sell his house for Clemson. Great call on that one. Although I did nail UNC on the second half and the second half over, so I wound up making money on that game, but I lost on UNC, and we'll get to the big news of the day yesterday in a second. I'm trying to think of what other news there was yesterday. The big news of the day yesterday was that anyone who took all their life savings and parlayed the hell out of all the overs in the NHL now doesn't have any life savings anymore, right?
Yeah, that was wild.
Right? I thought that's why. I mean, you know, we joke about it, but you know, these kinds of trends, and I did it myself. I bet appropriately. So despite the fact that I took it in the bottom mouth in NHL yesterday, I'm still up 10 units in the show.
Yeah.
Because I bet sides appropriately, but I did, you know, give a whole bunch of overs yesterday, and you know, as we know, the last 2 years overs were like whatever 21-3 or something in the day after the All-Star break. So everyone was thinking easy, no-brainer money. There might be something to that, but there are no locks. And yesterday, I think it was 3-12 on the overs, or 4-8 or something, 3-9 or 4-8 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, but Jimmy the Bag continued to do what he does. He gave 4 big underdogs, and yesterday 3 of them hit. Awesome, unreal call on LA, Jimmy the Bag.
To be honest with you, I think that the LA call last night was my best call of the whole year in the NHL.
And as you were giving it, I started to be convinced. And you remember I said, I was like, man, you might be right here. What about the alternative puck line? The alternative puck line was like plus 450.
Yeah, no. And the times when I've said no, I want to be rewarded for a shootout or overtime, I don't think I've ever been rewarded. I don't think that's ever happened. So
Right.
maybe it does make sense to do the alternative puck line. But man, knowing that these guys, these Sagan and Jamie Benn are questionable characters, and
Fucking dead on with that one, man.
but also Hitchcock saying it too.
Yes,
Hitchcock saying
yes.
the restart thing,
Yes.
re-engage. He said re-engage. I was like, man, he knows these guys were in Mexico for fucking 4 days. You know, he knows that.
That's called reading between the tea leaves. Exactly. You forget that these guys are, in fact, human beings, right? They're not random number generators. They're human beings, and sometimes they do shit like that. Great call, Jimmy the Bag. That was a classic example of a factor that's hard to quantify, right? You can't plug into your model, players getting fucked up. You know. I mean, I guess you could. You can quantify anything, but sometimes some things are really hard to quantify.
Well, there's a reason why the Bruins traded Sagan, who had enormous potential. There's a reason why Jamie Benn was drafted in the 5th round when he had first-round talent. And it was great. It was fucking great to take advantage of it.
So again, this show is going very well. Jimmy the Bag providing entertainment value and winners, and I am providing entertainment value.
No, you've got
And
tons of winners.
yes.
Tons of winners.
So that
man.
means we got 2 guys providing entertainment value in this show, 1 guy providing winners. That is a hell of a show right there. And of course, we got all the people in the chat box who are really. I mean, we could not do it. You're picking. I can see when the guys in the chat box are helping you out. You're learning how to take their information and meld it with your own research and put it all together and present a nice selection of plays that overall are doing very well. And Jimmy the Bag.
Talk about the Penguins giving us money, putting money into our pockets. And it's been what, 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks that they're clearing puck lines and they're just consistently putting money in our pockets. And I know they're not going to win every single game on the puck line from here on out, but man, it's just a gift that keeps giving. A
couple of other things to note. Yesterday, of course, I did have a winner with Utah on the first half, although I took back the full game on Golden State. And Golden State, Steph Curry was in there. They're an awesome team, but there are going to be spots where they have down days. They can be beat. And, yesterday was, I think, that was one good read that I did have. It was a pretty clear down spot for Golden State. I didn't expect them to lose, but I thought they might be a good bet in one way or another on spreads, right?
It was a great call.
And the other, before we move on to today's games, one other, this show was a great call yesterday by both of us, Vitalis and Jimmy and I, on the Orlando-Houston total, right? How about that? Vitalis said he loved the under at 223 or 222.5 or something like that. And, Jimmy and I were thinking about it, watching and waiting. Then we did the 6 o'clock show. It was down to 219. And Jim said, you know what? I like the over. I was like, I agree with you. We went on it, and all 3 of us cashed. The landed on 221. Anyone who bet the under at 223 cashed. Anyone who bet the over on the late number at 219 cashed.
That was another simple spot. A bunch of guys talking to me on Twitter about that spot last night. There were guys saying that when Chris Paul slows the pace down, who was not in the lineup, that's why we made the bet, that Harden yells at him.
Yeah, right.
Right? He yells at him for slowing the pace down.
Right.
And now we had Harden controlling the pace, puts up 60 in a triple-double. Are you kidding me? That was wonderful.
And, of course, in college basketball, I had another uneven day. Some winners, some losers. But my best bet of the day yesterday was Ohio State. Knew they were going to roll Indiana. That was just Indiana was coming off of 2 days ago playing a tough game against Purdue. Now they're going on the road against Ohio State, who's coming off of a bad performance. It was just had Ohio State rolling written all over it. In situations like those, don't be afraid to take big favorites, even going against another quality team on the road. Because Indiana's a decent team, of course.
Yeah.
But if the spot favors a team like Ohio State, don't be afraid to lay the big points. Those are the kinds of situations where big favorites can have value in sports betting. College
that
basketball.
Was a nice play. The Central Michigan play saved my day. Saved my play day. Completely dominated. But then Eastern Michigan got crushed, so it takes a little bit of the smile.
And I knew there was something weird about that Toledo line. I liked it at 7, but it was weird how it hadn't moved, and they wound up getting beat. So overall, an uneven day for me, but not too bad, not too embarrassing. And Jimmy the Bag, of course, continues to roll. Let's let's get into today's card, Jimmy the Bag. Shall we do that?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. First, we're going to start with NHL because there's only 3 games. Of course, again, yesterday, the overs did not cash. We still have 2 teams here playing against each other. No, wait, let me see. Right, Detroit is playing their first game back. Philly and Washington are the 2 teams that are playing their first games after the break. Philly, of course, was really rolling before the first half came to a close. Then they lost their last game, but they had rattled off like 8 or 9 wins in a row, something like that. So they're definitely, at first glance, you think, they're kind of a big underdog here. Maybe they're worth a shot. Maybe we take a shot with an over on this one. What do you think, Jim? What's Philly, Washington? Interesting game here.
I found these 3 games very difficult. Didn't produce an official pick, and thinking maybe we can talk one out and create one, but didn't do that. So Kuznetsov left the Caps last game before the break with a lower body injury. Returned to practice yesterday. Said he's good to go tonight. That's big. Capitals are a healthy squad, which hasn't been the case all year. 18-7-1 at home. Holtby has been very good at home. Questionable on the road. Very good at home. 15-5-1 with a 2.13 goals against average, 932 save percentage. The Flyers, as you said, have had an excellent January, winning 8 of 11 games. The Flyers are a top-heavy offense, getting all their scoring from Couturier, Simmons, Drew, and Voracek. They need more secondary scoring. Brian Elliott is out with a lower body injury, so Michael Neuwirth will be between the pipes to face his old team. And Neuwirth has had a very good season, and I think this is a nice chance for him. Now, I wish he's dealing with a stomach flu, and he's over it. He said he's okay at practice, but that is if he wasn't dealing with that, I would think he would really step up against his ex-team. He's 5-6-1 with 2.46 goals against average, 918 save percentage. Just 1-1 with a 3.14 goals against average, 891 save percentage against his former team. The Flyers have won both meetings with the Caps by a combined score of 10-3. So the Capitals know this going in. This is a tough spot. Udon Porn, Ratina Facti says Washington moneyline -150 is my play. Arthur Funches says, didn't the Cap and Flyers go over last time? They actually went under last time. Yeah,
they played recently, and it was a low scoring game, and I think Philly won that one, right? 2-1.
Yeah, and then the game before that was the 8-2 drubbing. That was the opening game of the season.
Yeah, these 3 games are all pretty tough. I didn't make a bet on any of them, and I think I might pass. San Jose and Detroit is also interesting. Obviously, San Jose lost at Pittsburgh. Detroit is a beatable team, though. Maybe San Jose with a game under their belt, especially coming off a loss. Maybe San Jose. If you gave me a free play and I could use it on any one of these 3 games, I probably would throw it on San Jose to get a win here. What do you think, Jim?
I'm not comfortable here either. The Red Wings are getting very, very important players back.
Yes.
So they're getting Trevor Daley, Justin Abdelkader, and Darren Helm back from injuries. Crucial pieces to this hockey team that you need. They've got young guys going. We were talking before the break how much I love that Tyler Bertuzzi line that's really stepped up for them. But they need these veterans back. They've had a tough year. They find themselves coming out of the break in 12th in the East, 10 points out of a playoff spot. They were just 2-5-1 in their last 8 before the All-Star break. And then we have Peter Mrazek playing tonight. And his numbers have improved because he's looked very good of late. Allowed 9 goals in his last 5 games with a 934 save percentage. 2 of those games were shutouts. Sharks are on the second half of a back-to-back after losing to the Pens 5-2 in Pittsburgh last night. They're 2-3-1 in their last 6. Losing Big Joe Thornton to injury was a crushing blow. I was watching some highlights of Joe this year, him fighting Nazem Kadri, him just playing with emotion. He's impressed me so much, and this is a big blow. And then we're dealing with Martin Jones, who won't be starting tonight, but he's come back from a second groin injury, not looked good this season. Aaron Dell will be in net. He's come crashing down to earth, struggled in January, 3.19 goals against average, 896 save percentage. After 24 games this year, listen to this stat, Sharks had the best defense in the NHL, allowing just 50 goals. In the last 26, they're the 4th worst in the league, allowing 85 goals. Udon Porn says goalie Dell sucks. Ryan Cartwright says Red Wings is the play. Al Mack, who's great hockey, great actually because the new contest is up and Al Mack's in 3rd in the SBR contest. I'm in 4th.
Well, how many people are in the entire contest?
There's only 50 something.
Okay, but still very good.
It's just early. It's very early.
I thought you were going to say like 7. And all right, okay.
Oh no, but it's very early. Al Mack from Toronto, great hockey handicapper, and he says Mrazek is a stud. I like Mrazek coming out of the O, and surprised he's not had a better career. Mutt B says, fuck Red Wings.
Mutt beast. You know, it's when you're having a couple losing days in a row that you really appreciate people with that kind of attitude. No fucking, you know, when you're winning, you know, you have extra flowery words and saying shit that you don't really have to say. Mutt beast, very efficient with his words and with his exhortations. I love it. Mutt beast, I love you, pal.
This is great. This is SJ Shark Ruiz, so he's a big Sharks fan. Yes. He says, I watched the game last night, and he was on them to beat the Pen last night, and he says, I'm leaning Red Wings. He said they were getting it together before the break. Interesting. And we love when we see a fan of one side giving us inside information. Paulo Marquez says, remember I said Chicago, etc. I'm going to be right when I said a simple game. Sharks, the play, trust me. Then the Kilted Chimp says San Jose, Detroit, stay off. I'm telling you, maybe my NHL is going well, and it's making me be more choosy. And that's why I only made 4 plays on yesterday's card. And in this card, I find this a very difficult spot. And I would actually lean towards the Red Wings. So when I capped this game, I hadn't looked at what the money line was, and I was like, okay, so give me a little juice, give me a little plus action on the Red Wings, and it's not. It's a pick 'em. So
wait, where's that comment? The guy saying that he likes San Jose. Who said that one?
Paulo Marquez.
Paulo Marquez likes San Jose.
Sharks to play, trust me.
Right. Where is that? Where is that comment?
That is about 8 up from the bottom right now.
Paulo Marquez. I can't fucking see shit. Where the fuck? Oh, there you go. Remember I said Chicago, etc. I'm going to write when I said a simple game. Sharks the play, trust me.
Al Max says, yeah, hit the Wings tonight, especially if the public money's on the Sharks. It'll bring the Wings lineup.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to do here. I was thinking maybe about a shot with the over. What do you think about the over here? Even though the goalie's a stud for Detroit, and San Jose can have some problems scoring. Dumphorn likes the over.
I personally, I think with Daly, Abdelkader, and Helm back in the lineup, the Red Wings will be more responsible defensively. This is tough, man. Matu 1984. NBA says yes, Red Wings, Jimmy. Brent Brooks wondering if it's Mrazek or Howard. It is Mrazek. But Radnofsky, says over 5.5 is the play.
And then the Toronto Islanders game is obviously very interesting. Islanders off an embarrassing loss, right? They lost 1-4. Great call on the under on that one, Jim, although you didn't give it as a pick, right? But you definitely said that was your lean. Contrarian play there. Obviously, you had everyone looking at overs yesterday, and the Islanders a dead over team for the entire first half of the season. That game went under. They only scored 1 goal. Now they're going up against Toronto. What do we make of Toronto? To start the year, Toronto was money just betting on their overs and to cash and to win, and that was the right call then. Then they went into a pretty serious tailspin for an extended period of time in the second half of the first half of the season. What do we expect from Toronto in the second half of this season, Jim?
I think as soon as Riley is healthy, which he's not, and let me preface also that the under was a play that Lee Davis made, a guy that I work with on Twitter, a great hockey capper, and it was a great call, the contrarian under. So that's a shout out to Lee Davis for that move. The Leafs will be a very good team in the second half as soon, and not tonight, because Morgan Riley's missed the last 4 games with an upper body injury. He's been skating before practice, and Nikita Zaitsev is finally back after missing 17 games with a broken foot. They've been playing Gardner, Hainsey, Connor Carrick way too much. If you look at their roster, their depth chart on defense is bad. The whole year we've been saying the Leafs need another top 4 defenseman to help this group out. So they're going to have Zaitsev back tonight. It's very difficult coming into a game in this situation after missing 17. I wouldn't play him for more than 13 or 14 minutes. Even out of necessity, I wouldn't. Leafs have had won 2 straight before the break, including an impressive 4-1 victory at Dallas on Thursday night, 5-3-2 over the last 10, 13-8-2 at home. Islanders are on the second half of a back-to-back after a disappointing 4-1 loss at home to the Panthers last night. Even with that ugly home loss, they're 5-3-1 over their last 9. They got Casey Zizekas back from injury, still missing Boychuk and Ladd. Those are 2 important veteran pieces. Islanders aren't that bad on the road, 12-13-2. I don't know. Brent Brooks says Islanders are over machine. Justin Searcy says Toronto, New York Islanders under. I was shocked when I saw that the line was giving you plus money for the under.
Yeah, it's open. Well, Toronto, I mean, the Islanders did have a 7 recently. What game was that? Very recently, last week.
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
There was one of their games that was a 7. I believe that game went, I don't remember. Did that game go over or under? Don't even remember. I can check it here right now. But now I'm starting to think, we'll move on to NBA in a second, but I'm starting to think maybe Washington just rolls. Simple play, not too huge of a favorite line. How good is Philly right now, Jim?
Philly's been playing very good, but then these 4 days break, these 4-day breaks are difficult. They're difficult to put into your handicapping.
Holtby's solid, right?
Holtby's been very solid at home and somewhat questionable on the road. And then I like Neuver stepping up tonight, even though he's got the stomach ailment. I think he's a good goalie. And Al Max says I like the under. Halak's has played good. Kilter Chimp says it's a coin flip. Jason Walker says I'm thinking about the under in the Islanders game.
The under in the Islanders game. All right, so maybe we can both pass completely on this card. I'm thinking maybe about throwing in a play on Washington here. Maybe, again, the break might maybe, Philly was playing very, very strong at the end of the year, although they did lose their last game. And, Washington not as strong, but they have a good, what's your take on Washington in general going forward in the second half, Jim?
I think that they need to get some secondary scoring. They need Burakovsky to step up. Their line's been a mess. They tried to switch everything up recently, and so they need. I think they'll make a move here in the next 6 weeks or so. They need secondary scoring, and I don't think it makes sense separating Backstrom and Ovechkin, even though that's what they've done again. I don't like that move. I'm not going to make a move on this card, on this NHL card this morning. But I'm going to keep an eye on the lines. I'm going to keep an eye on, I've capped them the games. But I'm not going to force a play right now.
Yes. Do not force a play ever in any situation, handicapping. Whether you're winning, losing, first day betting, last day of your life, never force a bet, right?
Absolutely. But I mean, we're trying to give you guys entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I'm so close to being.
All right. Let's. What you think Washington score? Maybe you like Newvert though. What about Washington team total over 2.5 minus 148? What about that?
Brent Brooks makes a great point. He says the Caps need TJ Oshie to be TJ Oshie. I'm surprised with how he's played this year. He's such a skilled player. But Dante Higgs says, I love the Capitals, Pete.
Paolo Marquez says, Caps too obvious. That scares me. What about the Caps team total over 2.5? It's a big favorite line, but not that huge. 2.5 minus 148, Jim. What do you think about that?
I've early this season, I was having no success with those plays with the big spots. So,
yeah, I mean, but you think that the Caps should have a decent offensive day and they'll be able to put something on Newvert?
I would expect the Capitals to score over 2.5 goals.
Right, you would, right?
I would.
One would expect that to happen, wouldn't one?
Yes.
All right, maybe I'll give that one as a pick. Let me just save these comments here and let me just think about this right now. You know what? Let's see here. Let's see. I'll take it. I'll take the Washington team total over 2.5 minus 148, and if I eat a loss there, that's okay. But I think they're going to. Let's see. Okay, now people are already talking about NBA. Caps are not that obvious, says McGogster. All right.
Oh, we have another guy with the Sharks, so it's not just Paolo Marquez alone. Corey Dickerson says Sharks eat. So, this is tricky. Spot.
Dante Higgs loves the Caps. All right, I'm gonna take the Caps team total over 2.5 minus 148. I'll throw that one on there as an official pick. So one of us has given. That's a little bit of a forced pick, but I still like it. I think it's a decent play, and I'll bet it. And here, Rem Most says problem with the Caps is they like to shit the bed. Kilted Chimp says Caps over. Brent Brooks says Ovi can get 3 by himself. All right, there you go. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. So, shall we move on, Jim?
Let's do it.
No plays for Jim in NHL tonight. Understandable. A lot of analysis, though, from Jim. I'm going to give the Caps team total over 2.5 minus 148. Now let's... oh, wait, Wanma, do we have the records? Oh, did we show the NHL record or not?
No, we didn't, but let's show it right now.
All right, just show it, just so people can admire what Jim has done, because hopefully this isn't the high water mark for him, but you're pushing 20 units there, Jimmy the Bag. And even after my debacle yesterday, I'm still up 10 units overall on the year. And Jim is pushing 20. in the NHL. Very impressive, Jim. Now, let's move on to an NBA. We can throw up this NBA record. Again, I am clawing back. I was down 25 units or so. I'm now down single digits. And Jim is also pushing up there in the NBA. I forgot exactly where he is right now, but double digits positive off another winning day in the NBA, I believe. Right, Jim? Yes, off another winning day in the NBA. Very nicely done. We've got an interesting card today. Of course, you did get screwed. Now, I do well with these second halves. And when Kevin Love was out, I pounded Detroit second half last night, and I cashed with it, Jimmy the bag. The Cavs just seem like the team when everything is coming together. Sure, maybe they can be a good bet here and there, but I just feel like they don't deal with any kind of adversity, either in-game or injuries or anything. Now Kevin Love's out. It's terrible. They're going to be a disaster going forward, right? From an ATS perspective, I mean. Overvalued, right?
You know, I don't know what to do with this Cavs team. I was very, very lucky to hit that first half with them. They fucked me and confused me all year long. This is a very interesting game against the Heat tonight. You know, I'm happy that you hit on the second half. That was a very smart move.
Yes. I probably wouldn't have done it if it hadn't. It just with Kevin Love out and the way the score was, and knowing what Cleveland is, you know, I mean, they faded in the second half so many times. I was like, all right, I'm taking it. But if I hadn't seen Kevin Love out, I probably wouldn't have taken it. But you know, what do you think about maybe despite Kevin Love being out, Cleveland early? What do you think? First quarter, first half.
You know, I like this Heat basketball team. Cleveland's on the second half of back-to-back. Very disappointing loss to a shorthanded squad last night. Kevin Love broke his hand. Dwayne Wade put up 18 in the loss. He's showing some heart in these difficult times. Cavs are 5-8 in January. Now, who are they going to start? Because the Heat start 6'6" James Johnson at the power forward spot. So right beside Whiteside. So, man, if I was Tyronn Lue, there's talk that they're going to put Crowder there. I would play LeBron at the 4. I think put LeBron at the 4, Tristan at the 5. You got to do something totally different. Everything is a mess right now. Hassan Whiteside is playing very well. He's going to be very tough tonight. He'd have won 2 straight, 6-4 in their last 10. Impressive 16-11 road record. Whiteside coming off a 25-point, 14-board performance there, 95-88 win over Dallas on Monday night. Goran Dragic has not been playing that well, though. Only 18 points combined his last 2 games. This is tricky.
Yeah. A lot of people liking the over. They think that Miami's going to slow it down. I got screwed again. I feel like if I just hadn't taken any of my totals plays with Cleveland games this year, I would probably be even by now. I took the under again yesterday and got screwed on that one. I feel like at some point the team, but I guess, you know, if the team just doesn't have the character to put it together, if they did, the first thing they would do would be to start playing better defense, and they're just not going to do that ever. They're not going to start playing defense. Mark, let's see. Let's look at some comments here. Cavs first half barely covered. I was sweating bullets, says Dante Kiggs. Arian Costa, fade the Cavs. Arthur Funches says maybe the under, Pete. Al Mack says I'm an idiot, apropos of I don't know what. But, here we go. Al Mack says Cavs win by less. Let's see. The Kilted Chimp says fade Cavs. This is a dumb spot, says DJ Big Boss. Mark Von Dolan says Cavs first quarter. You know, the obvious play on this one would be to take, the Cavs first quarter, maybe the Cavs first half, and then to take Miami on the second half, and maybe to take Miami on the money line to win. That's just the obvious no-brainer way of doing this, and that has paid off with the Cavs all season long. Christian Rivas says, I like the under on this game. Andrew says, Cavs are trash. They are soft. They play no defense. Giovanni Biesdorf says, yes, Miami will slow the pace. Brent Brooks says, I bet Pete shaved his neck. Come on, Brent. Skip with the program. Stick with the program. We're trying to fucking handicap NBA here. Let's see. Matt2 1984 NBA says over in the Heat and Cavs. Okay. What do you want to do on this one, Jim?
Well, I'm going to probably make a play on Miami at some point today, but I'm just not. I'm just not going to force it right now. Miami's got to be the play here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so clear, and that makes me uncomfortable. God, the Cavs are just so hard to figure out.
I mean, what do you think about Channing Frye? He's going to be replacing Kevin Love, and he was okay yesterday. What do you think about what do you think about his production going forward? Do you think he'll give the team a shot in the arm?
No, I mean, he's a perimeter big. I mean, these guys are just they don't go into the dirty areas, and come on, the Heat have all these bigs to mess with those guys. I mean, they'll just put. I mean, Olnick has small arms, so he might not be the best perimeter defender. But I mean, I don't. Channing Frye, he hits threes. He should be playing 15 minutes a game.
Ryan Cartwright says, Heat fan here. I'll be taking them. Ryan Cartwright has given some great calls in this season on the Heat specifically. And there was one time when he advised me to not bet against them, and he was damn on. I think they were playing Milwaukee. But in general, this analysis is kind of degenerating here. Cody AV says, I wish I could take a dump on Tyronn Lue's forehead. All right. Are we going to pass on this one?
I'm going to pass at this point.
All right, so let's move on. There's definitely some other games that are interesting. One bet that I did make, Jim, and maybe you agree with this. Let's go to that one. Lakers and Orlando. Of course, Orlando's on a back-to-back. They played Houston yesterday, which once again, Vitalis hit with the under, and Jim and I hit with the over. Big line moved towards the under. Bam, the book got middled. I was liking the under on this one. I took it at 217.5. 217.5 is still available at BetOnline. What do you think here? The Lakers played good D on the road.
Yeah, this is a tough game as well. Magic second half of a back-to-back. They allowed Harden to put up 60, the most ever scored in a triple-double, the Rocket franchise record for points. Single game, 4 points off the most Magic franchise have ever allowed to a single player. It was Orlando's 31st loss in their last 37 games, but there was some good things. Magic shot 50.6% from the field and hit 15 threes. Aaron Gordon missed last night's game with a hip flexor. They are 1-9 without him in the lineup. He's questionable to go tonight. The Magic backcourt was terrible, and they stayed in this game. I don't know what Fournier and Payton were doing, if they were just watching Harden all game, what the hell they were doing. They combined for 16 points. They both had been playing well of late, so I expect them to have a bounce-back game. Lakers have won 8 of 11. They're averaging 108 points, shooting 47.2% over that span. They've been off since Sunday's 123-111 loss to Toronto. They've been winning while their youngsters have been hitting the wall, which is strange. Kyle Kuzma's hitting the wall, went 3 for 9 versus the Raptors, struggling on the road, averaging just 10.8 points per game on 39.4% shooting in his last 6 road games. Brandon Ingram has been struggling as well. Even with a 25-point performance Friday at Chicago, he's averaging 8.4 points on just 31.9% shooting in his last 5 games. Julius Randle is stepping up, picking up the slack. 3 double-doubles in his last 4 games, averaging 16.8 points, 8.8 boards over his last 8 games. Julius Randle is a guy who plays in the dirty areas. He's a guy that I believe this team will succeed if he steps up and moves forward. In saying all that, like Baseball Bob says, another stay-away game, boys. This is an uncomfortable spot.
All right, I'm going to take the under just because I bet it. It is in my leans column. My leans are up 20 units in the NBA this year. I'm going to take it. Orlando under 217.5, minus 113. That's the current line at sportsbetting.ag. I'm taking the under, Jim. You think that's a mistake? I know Orlando can be super high scoring, but they're coming off the Rockets game. I think the Lakers play better defense on the road, and I'm going to take it. What do you think, Jim?
It's uncomfortable. There's so much volatility with the Magic. Yeah. Luke Charleston says thinking under on Lakers. Magic should be a little worked down. I think we need to know what Aaron Gordon's situation is. Kilted Chimp says Lakers Magic under.
I like it. I'm taking it, and I'm tempted even to think about doubling up on it. I'm tempted to
Al Mack says low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. Lakers under 217.5.
All right, I'm focused, and I bet that one, and I'm making it an official pick. That's one goddamn NBA official pick for me. Jimmy the Bag. We got a whole bunch of other games on the card. What are you liking here?
Okay, well, first off, I like the Sixers on the first half against the Nets, and I'm going to take them. Okafor plays against the team that drafted him 3rd overall. What a disappointing career so far for him. Played 14 games with the Nets, averaging 5.8 points, 2.9 boards, playing 13 minutes a game. His minutes have gone up, though. He played a combined 49 minutes over his last 2 games, putting up 26 points, 19 boards. That was combined against the Knicks and Timberwolves. I kind of have a feeling that Atkinson's going to give him a shot here against his old team and see what he's made of. Sixers have won 10 of 13. Embiid set out the second half of their recent back-to-back. Started with a 10-point loss at OKC, concluded with a 12-point loss at Milwaukee. The reason why I like the Sixers here on the first half is because they went 2 for 26 from 3 versus the Bucks. Saric and Covington went a combined 1 for 16 from 3. The Sixers didn't hit a 3 until there was 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The Nets have lost 10 of 13. They're clearly missing Hollis Jefferson. We've mentioned it over and over in the last few days. He's missed the last 3 games. To a lesser extent, they're missing LeVert. They've suffered 3 straight double-digit losses. Omar Magana says Embiid is out.
Mm-hmm.
Embiid is out. That is news to me.
Mm-hmm.
So hold off on making that a play, and let me see if I can get some more information on that quickly. That is new. If Embiid is out, I'm not going to make this move.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Embiid is out, and the line is first half is -4. This is definitely a tricky one. I was thinking once again maybe a shot with the under. I've been having some success with Brooklyn unders recently over the past couple weeks. I had the under yesterday against the Knicks, and I jumped all over the second half under on that one as well. That was a big second half under. But I should start tweeting out my fucking second half plays here. Second half's been saving my season, saving my bankroll, Jim. I was thinking about a shot with the under here as well at 211. What do you think about that, Jim?
I think that is I think that's a good spot, but I mean, I'm shocked to hear that that people. I've got no information that Embiid is out. He said he was good to go in the back-to-back. I don't know why he would be out here. I guess I'll hold off.
Okay.
I guess I'll hold off. I need to know.
Vitalis says, Pete, I have 106 to 108 in the Lakers. I like the under, but it's close. Okay. I mean, if Vitalis is using a model, then his model's predictions are almost always going to be close to what the market lines are. So anytime a model has a small edge like that, that weighs heavily to me, in my mind, than if someone just predicts a random score. So, a model prediction that is a little bit off from a market line is a very good sign for me. Thanks, Vitalis. Okay.
He says 76ers under is my favorite play.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan Kelly says, I can't find Embiid out anywhere. And it was Omar who said that.
Mm-hmm.
Omar, do you mind helping us with where you got that information from?
Mm-hmm. And then Desi Lathan saying, Pete, what the fuck, you high? Is he talking about the under on the Philly game? What's he talking about? What's he talking about? Wait, come on. You're a little bit more specific here, Desi Lathan. Am I high about what? Apropos of what? Let's see. Other games here. All right, yeah. So, and then Kilted Chimp says under is the best play, 76ers. A lot of people liking the under. Yeah, and here's a good comment. Justin seriously saying if he's out, the line would be much smaller. I agree with that. We would see some line move if we. Giovanni Biesdorf is saying, "I'll Google Embiid." Okay, great. Yes, use Google to find out this information. Let's see. All right.
I can't imagine a situation where he would not be playing.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was good to go in the back-to-back, and they held him out.
Justin seriously says if Embiid is out, under is a great play. Okay, so as is often the case with Philly games, sometimes it's best just to wait until the hour before tip-off to get the best information. All right, let's move on. We do want to get to every game here. Yeah. One game I was thinking about, Jimmy the Bag, I was looking at Dallas, Phoenix. Both these teams kind of been struggling. Not totally seeing why Phoenix should be a home dog here. Phoenix, of course, has not been winning or covering, but neither is Dallas. And why would Phoenix? I know that Booker was out. Should Phoenix be a home dog here, Jim?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, Phoenix should be a home dog. They've been very disappointing of late. Lost 5 in a row and 8 of 9 and are now dealing with another injury to star Devin Booker, dealing with a rib injury, questionable to go tonight. Marquise Chris is also questionable to go. You got Booker, you got TJ Warren, and that is it on this team. Nobody's providing that third scoring option, especially with Chris out of the lineup. Yes, there are reports that Embiid. We'll wait on this.
We'll wait on that at 6 o'clock. We'll revisit the 6 o'clock show.
They're coming off a 120-109 loss at Memphis on Monday, where they were down by as much as 25 to this makeshift Memphis lineup. Suns beat the Mavs in their only meeting this year, 97-91 on December 18th. They held the Mavs to 36.4% shooting in that game, but we haven't seen nothing. We've seen them do nothing close to that lately. 5 of the Suns' last 8 opponents have shot better than 50% against them, and the Suns, not surprisingly, have lost all of those games. Suns are just 8-17 at home. Mavs have lost 4 in a row, 10 of 13, and are coming off a 95-88 loss at home to the Heat. They have been continually losing close games. They are not finishing well. 9 of their last 10 losses have been by single digits. JJ Barea and Finney Smith are both day-to-day. Mavs are just 6-17 on the road. This is another game that I'm very uncomfortable with in staying off.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I guess I will stay off on that one. Both these teams have been under trending recently as well, but Phoenix's last game was very high scoring. Not sure if I would want to take an under here. Both teams, I would be leaning under. Both teams have been under trending recently. People earlier brought up the Portland-Chicago game. That's certainly an interesting one. Chicago clearly missing Chris Dunn, right? Clearly. That's a big clear problem for them. They have lost straight up on ATS a bunch of games in a row, but Portland's now coming on a back-to-back. One at the Clippers. I was thinking maybe a shot with the under, maybe a shot with Chicago. Earlier on in the chat, some people were talking about how they like Chicago here. I would be agreeing with that. Portland, though, has been an ATS juggernaut, though. They're on an ATS roll. They've covered like the last 5 or 6 games in a row, so that's not something you want to bet against. Chicago was like that recently. When they were like that, you didn't want to bet against them. I'm leaning under, and I'm thinking about a shot with Chicago here. What do you think, Jim?
I had a nice spot with the Blazers last night, hit the double with the under and the Blazers. Zach LaVine has had a tough time finding his range since returning to the lineup. In 8 games, shooting just 36% from the field, averaging 12.6 points, 4.6 boards, 2.6 assists. He's gone 2 for 13 from 3 over his last 2 games. The Bulls have lost 4 straight, been dealing with all the rumors around the failed attempt by the Pelicans to get Mirotic. As Pete said, Chris Dunn is in concussion protocol, and man, he's looked good this year. 13.7 points, 6.4 assists, 4.6 boards. Jerry and Grant and Denzel Valentine are not handling the spot. They are sharing the point guard duties with Dunn out of the lineup. Lauri Markkanen is also not traveling with the team for personal reasons, which I think is fine. I like it when Mirotic plays 35 to 40 minutes, but this is another spot. Like, do you want to wait a few hours to make sure they don't trade him this afternoon?
Al Mack says, I love the Blazers. Probably my bet of the night. Wow. That's a pretty strong opinion right there, and you respect this guy, Al Mack, don't you, Al?
I do. The Blazers are on the second half of back-to-back. They look very good last night. They won 3 in a row, 6 of 7. Lillard, in his last 10 games, gone over 20 in every single game, averaging 27.4 points. Portland is a healthy group.
Yeah.
Playing good basketball.
Look at this. Blazer. Omar Magana says Blazers are going to win easily. Baseball Bob says Blazers good play tonight, Pete. I also take those comments very seriously when people put my name in the comment because they're like, listen, you're about to do something stupid if you take the Bulls. Don't do it, Pete. That's a very serious. That's a very strong, deeply held opinion when people put your name in the comment. All right, a lot of people liking the Blazers tonight. Justin Sissy says Blazers Bulls under 213. I was thinking about that myself. I was thinking about the Kilted Chimp likes the Blazers also. That's a cool name, the Kilted Chimp. Baseball Bob Blazers at home is great. I was thinking about under. What do you think about that, Jim?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see that being a good spot. I thought the under was going to be very easy last night, and I was a little concerned after the first quarter, but then it fell right into place. I'm a Blazers fan.
I mean, the way the Blazers are playing right now, are you in general looking for them to be more of an under-trender than an over-trender, playing well the way they're playing right now?
Yes, I think that they got their offense back together and then again started focusing on their defense. I like this team.
Okay. Remo says, Pete, put the sunglasses back on. You got it. You got it. There you go. Russell Beiswanger said, Pete, did you get those at a 7-Eleven? No, this is a Christmas gift from SBR. Thank you very much. Christmas gift from SBR. They were like, we're breaking out the bank to get Pete a Christmas gift. $10 sunglasses, babe. No, these are fucking Oakley sunglasses.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Looking good,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. I'm feeling good. All right, so let's see.
I'm a little uncomfortable with the 7-point line, in all honesty. Yes, I like the Blazers to win, but will they cover that? Seriously, just says it right there now. He says -7 is a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to pass on this one, obviously, right, Jim?
At this point, yeah.
All right, let's move on. Memphis, Indiana. That's an interesting game. Another game. I was thinking Indiana's playing well, but I was thinking maybe Memphis getting 7 points, a few too many points. And Memphis, I've had a kind of a hard time timing their totals. They've been a big overtrender recently, right?
They sure
They're
have.
scoring a lot, and this is a low total. Indiana obviously can also be high scoring, and to get into the mid 200s is not necessarily a high scoring game in today's NBA. So I was thinking maybe Memphis +7, maybe the over. What do you think about that game, Jim?
Well, after this was my first game, and I've done very well with the Pacers of late. When everybody's been warning me in spots with the Pacers, I've still stayed with them, and they've been very good to me. And now that I think about it, I think you're absolutely right that the over is a nice play. Absolutely
you think so?
Right. I do, yeah.
Okay.
Pacers have won 4 of 5 and 8 of 10. I don't think they're going to have trouble covering the 7 points. Monday's 105-96 home win over the Hornets was Miles Turner's second game back after missing 9 games with an elbow injury. They showed in that game that Miles Turner is a difference maker on this squad. He shined off the bench, putting up 22 points on 8 of 11 shooting. Nate McMillan said he will be back in the starting lineup shortly. Sabonis has been starting for him. Both Sabonis and Turner have talked about how much they enjoy being on the floor together. Lance Stevenson is questionable with a thigh injury. He's resurrected his career this year, averaging 8.9 points, 5.5 boards, 3 assists, and 23.2 minutes. Oladipo has continued his excellent play. He's averaging 24.2 points, 5.3 boards, 4.1 assists. Will be playing in his first All-Star game. Pacers are 17-10 at home. Grizzlies are coming off a 120-109 home win over the Suns, and that was a bad Phoenix Suns team without Devin Booker. Leading scorer Tyreek Evans came off the bench to score 27 after missing the previous 2 games with an illness. I bet you there will be a game. He's going to be traded. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to be traded, and it could happen this afternoon. The Grizzlies are just 5-16 on the road, and they're dealing with numerous injuries. They're more banged up than any squad in the league. Yeah. Mario Chalmers, Ben McLemore, Dylan Brooks, and Deontay Davis are questionable. James Ennis, JaMychal Green, and Chandler Parsons are out. Michael Conley's done for the year. I like this. I like your over. I think that's a good play.
Everyone's coming in saying that they like the over. It's a little bit concerning, though. Again, this is a lot of times you see U-shaped line movement in NBA, especially with totals. But it did open at 205, and now it's down to 203.5, and that's not an accident, Jim.
You know what? I don't care about the line movements over the last few weeks.
Right.
When I care about them too much, I overthink things and I make mistakes. And, the line movement went down in that game yesterday, and we hammered it. No, I think that you are right with your breakdown. I think that these guys are just not skilled enough with the Grizzlies, the guys who they're playing. And when you deal with guys who aren't that skilled, the score goes up. It doesn't go down.
Yeah, interesting stuff here. Paulo Marquez likes over in Indiana. Let's see. Al Mack says he likes the over. Dan Kelly likes, I like Memphis and Indiana first quarter over. And when he puts that fine point on it, of course, Dan Kelly has a spreadsheet, magic spreadsheet.
Yeah,
and there's a reason that he made that comment. I might throw the first quarter on there as well. Mutt Beast, I like over too. Very nice to see that. Christian Rivas likes the over. Everyone. Wow. Baseball Bob, yes, over in Memphis game. Best bet. Wow. Donald Trump, Memphis Indy over is the play here. No doubt about it. Wow. Oh, everyone liking the over. Wow.
But Al Max says 93% of the money is on the under. Go against the public here. That's why it's gone down.
93. I cannot believe. Where is he getting that stat? 93. That cannot be true. The public loves to bet the over, and especially with teams that have been trending over recently. Memphis has been hitting over every game. 6 out of the last 8 games or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's...
Desi Lathan says, Pete, I've been following your under since Monday. Great fucking calls, Pete. Yeah, I've been doing well with my NBA totals. Not hitting everyone, but doing well in general with the NBA totals. And again, my leans in NBA are up 20 units on the year. When adding in my leans column, I'd be up 10 units. So, all right, let's think about it. Let me just. I think I will tail Al Mack's opinion there. Let's find what that line is. The first quarter over Memphis, Indiana. All right, 52. A little bit up there, but not too terrible. First half total on that one. 103.5, a little bit up there, but not too terrible. What are we going to do here, Jim? Let's make some picks.
Well, first off, I'm on the Pacers. I think they cover -7. I think they win by double digits.
Well, Pinnacle right now has 6.5, so we're going to give you -6.5, -109. Everywhere else has 7. And if Memphis is so banged up, what about the first half on that one as well? You think Indiana just comes out here rolling? Probably, right? No?
Probably, yes. That is likely. Yeah, I think they feel good about themselves. So what is the first half line?
3.5 or 4. I'm not trying to push you on a play, but I'm just thinking out loud here.
I think that is I think this is a nice spot.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait on this total. I am leaning over. If it goes back up to 205, that's not great because I could have had 203.5 right now. But I'm going to hold off on it right now. I'm going to watch and wait. Jim's going to take Indiana -6.5, -109. It is kind of a tricky NBA card. A lot of people saying that this is now Baseball Bob saying 73% on the over. All right. Who said Al Mack? Al Mack wouldn't just make up stats to troll us, would he?
No, man.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. And Chris Bravo likes the first half, Indiana as well. Okay. Joseph Browning says, get to the fucking Super Bowl already. I don't think we're planning on talking about the Super Bowl in today's show.
We aren't.
But we can throw a segment on that one in the afternoon show if we want to. All right, let's move on, Jim. We do have to get to all the games here.
Okay, I think this is a spot that I am not afraid of doubling up on the Pacers. I will take the Pacers on the first half as well.
You do have some units to burn here, which is not a good way to think ever, but we will give you that one if you like it. It seems like it might be a good play on the first half as well. First half -3.5, -106. That's the current line at Pinnacle. It's a split line, 3.5 or 4. All right, let's move on to New York, Boston. This is another interesting game, right? Boston coming back from a road trip. Knicks on a back-to-back, blew out the Nets last night. The Knicks not too bad, right? Kristaps Porzingis kind of, at a certain point earlier on in the year, we were thinking that he might be getting a little bit tired, a little bit worn down, but he's playing well. He's a dangerous shooter, right?
Yeah.
And the Knicks are kind of a dangerous team here. I was thinking again with a shot with the under, thinking maybe a shot with the Knicks. What do you think? Boston returns home off a nice road trip, right? 3 straight covers, playing well. It's a good team, but maybe we take a shot with the under here and maybe a shot with the Knicks. What do you think, Jim?
Well, there's talk that Kyrie Irving is not going to be in the lineup tonight, and I don't have that info at this point. So I don't have that info. And let me just go back. I am a tiny bit uncomfortable with the over now that I think about it in that game that we were just talking, Pacers, Grizzlies. I think it's best to wait on that. I think this is an exciting spot. Celtics coming off a 2-2 road trip that saw them defeat the Clippers, Nuggets, lose to Lakers, Warriors. They're just 2-5 over their last 7. They had a third meeting between these two. Celtics beat the Knicks at home 110-89 in Boston, and then the Knicks came back in Madison Square Garden and won 102-93 behind 32 bench points from Michael Beasley. And Kyrie is out. Everybody's saying Kyrie is out.
And that's why the line is now down to 6 at Pinnacle. All right.
But let's bring this out a little more. Knicks are on the second half of a back-to-back. Very impressive 111-95 win over the Nets at home last night that I proudly had. Enes Kanter went 20 points, 20 boards, 5 assists. Porzingis went 6 for 8 from 3 on his way to 28 points. But Porzingis had a very tough time versus Celtics for some reason in his career. A very tough time. In the 2 games this year, he's gone 3 for 25 from the field and 0 for 5 from 3. Knicks are just 7-19 on the road, but I think we can start throwing that record out because they look quite good in that 7-game road trip, going 3-4. Celtics are 18-8 at home. They don't have Marcus Smart, Rozier, Larkin, and now they don't have Kyrie. It's a tricky spot, right? Quad contusion, tricky spot.
And what do you think about the under?
No, I don't. I see. Like Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving controls the pace.
Yes.
And so I without him, I would think that there'd be more points.
Yeah. It is a tricky card, as a bunch of people have said. A lot of people saying that this card is not that great. Although there you go, Payless Way says like the under Pete on the Boston game. Irving is out. I'm happy because I did take the Mutt. We have Mutt Beast best bet of the day. Official bet, best bet of the day from Mutt Beast. Knicks game over 210. That's now 207.5 because of the news on Irving. That line is going down. Mutt Beast.
I think he's right.
You think he's right?
I think the line going down. I think there'll be more points with Irving out of the lineup. I wonder, are people going to keep hammering that under without him there?
Best bet of the day. I might tail Mutt Beast.
Oh, I think now that I know Kyrie's off, not playing in the game, Kyrie's the reason why the pace slows down.
Yeah,
he dictates everything. Wow, I like that over.
I'd love to run into some guy in the street and be like, Peter, who do you like tonight in the NBA? You've been doing this, semi-professionally for 15 years. I'd say I like the Knicks. Oh, your model says that, and I'm like, no. I'm tailing an anonymous commenter named Mutt Beast in the chat box on our shows.
I've been running with Mutt on Twitter for last week.
Really?
Loving it.
Really? Is he good? He has a nice. He knows his talk. Really?
Yeah, man. I'm loving it.
Wow. He might be right here. The over might be the play here.
I think it is. I think now with Kyrie out, man, I think there's going to be buckets.
Jeremy M says, I love Boston, but I'm leaning Knicks plus the points and the under.
Oh, but Madhu 1984 NBA goes against what I've said with numbers to back his stuff. He says offensive rating 108.4, Celtics pace 98.84. Without him on the court, it's 97.3. Celtics pace 96.86.
There you go. Madhu 1984 NBA. That's what you call a friggin' valuable comment right there.
Very valuable.
Thank you so much. These friggin' commenters. I don't have words to express how thankful I am for comments like that. You know what I mean?
Without doubt.
Backing it up with stats. Okay, so Matt U 1984 NBA has just provided us with the stats. It says that Jimmy's sense on how the pace changes with Kyrie in is off.
It's off. It's off. But there's a thing about it with Kyrie off the floor, and that's that Horford stopped scoring. And we saw that in the first half of the year. Horford, when Kyrie and Horford were on the floor together, they were a fine, perfectly fueled machine. And then so I still think, just like Paul being out of the lineup now, I mean, if we look, who's going to be bringing the ball up? I mean, Rozier's hurt, Larkin's hurt, so now that they're fucked. Was Kadeem Allen going to be bringing the ball up the court? So,
a lot of people like in Knicks first half. Joe D says, I'm leading Knicks first half plus 5.5, which I can guarantee you is not available anymore. Justin Searcy likes Knicks first half money line. Melas Palas Way likes lean Knicks. All right, Jim, we have to wrap this show up.
I have a play I'd like to give.
Okay, what's that?
I am on the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay, so you're going to pass on the Knicks game then.
I am going to at this point.
Okay.
At this point, I think when I look, they don't have Rozier, they don't have Larkin, so now if Kadeem Allen can't be starting a point, I guess they'll move. What will they move? Jaylen Brown? I can't understand who's going to be bringing the ball up the court. When we decided to take the Rockets last night, it was because we knew Harden would be bringing up the ball. You can take Kyrie's poise and control of the pace out, but you need someone who's going to speed it up, and I can't find that. Yes. And I really do think that was a very helpful Madu 1984 NBA.
Thank you very much. All right, so Jimmy the Bag, Atlanta, Charlotte, go.
Yes, I'm on the Hawks money line. Dwight Howard shows a lot of emotion when he plays his hometown Hawks. He blames the franchise for not trusting him in the failed one-year relationship that ended with him being traded to the Hornets. The Hornets have beaten them both times this season. Both games were in Charlotte. Howard put up a combined 38 points, 30 boards in those contests. Now the Hornets face them on the road. If you look at the Hornets on the road and the Hawks at home, the Hornets should not be favored here. The Hornets are 6-15 on the road. They're not to be trusted. Marvin Williams is being ruled out of tonight's game. So now Marvin Williams has given Howard space to put up these monster numbers all year, but who with Charlotte, with Johnny O'Brien's going to come in and put up a big game? No, he's not. Hawks snapped a 3-game losing streak with a very impressive 105-100 win over the Timberwolves. Yes, they've been playing the Western Conference much better than the Eastern Conference, but that stat doesn't make any sense. Other than maybe the West Coast teams don't think this is going to be a cakewalk and don't try as hard. Bazemore put up 22 points, excelled on the defensive end against the Wolves. Hawks are 11-15 at home on the season. They're in a really nice stretch where they played 9 out of 10 games at home, so they're rested. They're healthy, rested. They've gone 4-4 in those games. Bembry is the only one out of the lineup for the Hawks. I think this is I don't like the Hornets on the road, and I can't believe that they're favored in this spot.
Okay, well, the best money line is plus 135. That is the current line at Bookmaker. And Intertops, thank you. Intertops, good looking out, providing us with the best money line for Jim on Atlanta to win straight up against Charlotte, plus 135.
Bunch of guys are with me. Feels great. Melee Palace Way, Atlanta money line. Justin Searcy,
okay,
one of the plays that won't leave me alone. Atlanta money line. Baseball Bob with you, Jim, and the Hawks.
Okay,
I like
so we have covered every game in the NBA. It's an agreement, the general consensus in the chat box is that it's a tricky NBA card with a lot of traps and sort of a trappy card in general. But Jim has given Atlanta money line plus 135, Indiana first half minus 3.5, and the full game minus 6.5. And I've given just one play, Orlando Lakers under 217.5 minus 113. I do like that one. I think that's a solid play. I've only got one play, but I'm kind of liking it. And I guess that's about it. That wraps it up for the NBA. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time, where we will review the line moves of all these games and maybe add a pick or two if we want. And of course, we will get in depth with college basketball. Jim, I wanted to this morning try to get some picks for college basketball in, but I just I slept instead. I went to sleep and did some other things. I don't even remember what I did, but I don't have any plays for the big college basketball card. I am going to jump right into it as soon as this show is over. Some interesting stuff. Once again, Virginia, it's been this way for years, right? They're just a big favorite against reasonable teams, reasonable competition, and you're just wondering, should they really be this big of a favorite, especially when you see a total on a game, like they're a 9-point favorite, total's 115. You're like, should they really be that big of a favorite? And more often than not, the answer is definitely yes, and they cover those games by double digits,
And Max, and I just saw that on my peripheral vision, so I can't quote him unquote, but I believe he was saying here on the chat that he thinks Louisville is a fraud of a basketball team.
I mean, even against non-frauds, Virginia tends to cover those big spreads. They're just a vicious, ferocious basketball team. Then we've also got a similar team, Cincinnati. You know, a team that plays, a great team, plays great defense. They're giving big points to Houston. We'll get into that one. Big road favorite, West Virginia, a very formidable team, giving Iowa State 9.5. That is an interesting handicapping situation. Should Iowa State be getting that disrespected? I believe the last time this happened to Iowa State, they were playing TCU, and that was one of my big plays. I loved Iowa State there. They covered that one easily. So we've got some interesting games going tonight. We're not going to be able to give. I don't know. You don't have any. Do you have any college basketball picks yet?
Not at this point.
You don't.
No.
Right. And then Michigan State, great team, at times overvalued, giving double digits to Penn State. We will try to get into that one as well. Texas Tech playing Texas, of course. Texas is kind of a scrappy team, right? Coming together with a lot of bad luck this year that they've been dealing with. They are getting big points at Texas Tech. That's an interesting one. The Pac-12, man. The Pac-12 sometimes can have great obvious value, can also sometimes be very frustrating, especially in basketball and football. A lot of times you see big underdogs winning outright. All sorts of unexpected shit happens in Pac-12. Tonight we have Arizona as a double-digit road favorite at Washington State. I could see a 40-point win by Arizona or an outright loss by Arizona. These Pac-12 games in basketball and football, very, very wacky, but very fun to dig into when it comes to handicapping the likely outcomes. Jim, scanning the card.
Listen to this note quick. Bud Nino 87. Whenever Jimmy's on the Hawks, he's 7-0.
How the fuck these people track your record that close? How does he know that? Or is that you just make that up?
No, I don't think he's making that up. I would have to go through my numbers.
I mean, I could do that. I could find easily out what that is because I have the spreadsheet. But wow, yeah. And I've been on the Hawks with you a few of those plays, and we were definitely good. Jansen Bonzone says Washington State is really bad. Yes, Jansen Bonzone. How many times have we seen over the past 15, 20 years in the Pac-12, some just like 30-point underdog winning outright? You know what I mean in basketball. So I know they're really bad, but it's just the Pac-12 is the unexpected is my experience with the Pac-12 going back 20 years.
Oh, nice. We got Native Queen on the chat too now.
Very nice, very nice. And DJ Big Boss says it's the refs that fuck up the Pac-12. Yeah, sure. Although we see it in football too. So let's see what else. Yeah. Arthur Funcha says great show, guys. Thank you very much. Jansen Bonzone says West Virginia worries me right now. Iowa State is a decent team. They can have value as a big underdog. DJ Big Boss likes the West Virginia game under. All right, so Jimmy and I have no picks for college basketball right now, but we will have a ton of analysis and picks come 6 o'clock, which is the second show that we do every day right here at SBR Videos, right? Jim in the bag. All right, great show. Thanks again. Once again, we had a lot of nice discussions here, but very few picks officially. I've just got two in the NHL. Washington team total over 2.5 minus 148, and Orlando under 217.5. Jim, no picks in the NHL, and Atlanta moneyline plus 135, and Indiana first half and full game, and that's it. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of picks for college basketball. Thanks so much to all the commenters. Once again, we'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time for the 6 o'clock show today.